Welcome to my table of goodies. What am I doing? You're about to find out. All right, well, welcome back. We are right in between trips and we are back at home base, but we're so fast between the two. I have a bunch of things I need to get done to the rig. So I figured this would be a good opportunity for us to show you what we do at about these 10 month intervals that we are supposed to do. So let's dive into what all needs to happen, and I'm going to correlate that to the maintenance things that we're actually going to do. All right, so every so often you should be getting on your RV roof and checking your seals. Well, over time, those seals deteriorate. The hotter and more direct sun, the faster it's going to deteriorate. So I've checked everything about once a month, and it's just time to replace some of them. It's part of what it is. So what about the 10-month mark? And it's just time to replace. You're starting to see some screw heads pop up, some cracking, that kind of stuff. And then what we're using is a product from Dicor called Lap Sealant. A lot of times you'll hear people call this Dicor. Dicor is the brand, and it's a self-leveling lap sealant is what we use, and it's what Alliance recommends on their coaches. If you hear somebody say Dicor, they probably mean this, but they make a bunch of other stuff. So just make sure you're getting the right one for the application. The lap sealant, specifically self-leveling, is best for the roof because it kind of smooths everything out and keeps any little pieces from sticking up. Also on the same wavelength as seals on the roof, we're going to check seals on the whole RV. Just make sure nothing needs to be touched up. So this is a product called GLCell ProFlex RV. Again, it's what Alliance recommends on the sidewalls and those types of things for the RV. So I always keep one of these in a toolbox in the bed of my truck just in case. Honestly, I keep a few of them. And then when I get ready to do maintenance, like I ordered some this morning that I'll replace, and I'm going to go ahead and use, if I have to, one or two of these. Caulk gun comes in handy. You may be asking yourself, Ryan, why do you have a Valterra valve out here? Well, sometimes things happen on the road. And our last one, I don't know if it got hit by road debris or what's going on, but it cracked. And so I had to take it off. And I said had to take it off. It's actually still on. I need to take it off. And so I'm going to replace it with this one. And because we're here at the house and we have a septic system, I want to be able to dump gray water, I got a new cap instead of the traditional one that has a little bit of a hose inlet as well. Now, let's talk about the thing that you're probably here to see the most, and it's all of this stuff on this side of the table. So cleaning the RV and making sure it stays pristine. So typically when we come back, I normally wash the RV. So at bare minimum, I'll wash the front cap simply because you get bugs and all that kind of stuff. And so I wash it, then I go ahead and put it back. And then if I need to wash it again, bringing it up, depending on timing, I will. Sometimes I won't, just depends. I actually did a really thorough job this last time. So if it wasn't for what I'm about to show you, what the other thing that we're going to do is, I wouldn't wash it, but it's got to be pretty clean for the other stuff to work. So what we are going to do is we're going to apply a coat of wax. It's a ceramic wax. It's not. It's a regular wax. They say it's ceramic. They're trying to sell stuff. If you want a real ceramic wax, you need to go to a professional and have them install it. And we've considered that, but quite frankly, those are thousands and thousands of dollars. Some are more expensive than others. It all depends on the kind of wax they're using and their application process. I've always used Chemical Guys. You can find this at Walmart, Amazon, a bunch of other places. I just like the stuff. It seems to work really well. So I use this Hydro Suds. It's a ceramic car wash soap. It's what we use for like day to day. It's what I wash the trucks with. It's what I wash the RV with. Be a little gentle on this. You could also just use Flat Dawn. That works too. And then I use the Hydro Slick ceramic coating Hyper Wax. It's just the stuff that I found the best that works. This is the box it came in. Then just in case you have some of those spots, like if you have the black streaks or streaks anywhere, I always kind of keep of this Camco black streak remover. Actually works pretty well. Spray it on foams, let it sit for a little while. And then I wipe it off and then rinse it off. They say just rinse it off, but I like to wipe it off. Now you may be asking, what's this big Ryobi thing here? So this is actually an extendable kind of washing accessory. Ooh. So you have a spot for a battery down here. You have a trigger down here as well, or a button. It's a button. And then this rotates, and then you can also pivot this end. It just makes life a little easier. And then I had to buy a new one because I wore the other one out. But I always use this pack. So all of this works. It's called the Vortex system. That's what that is, kind of the insert. You can buy things that'll go on like end of your drill. I worry about the power with those. This isn't very strong. It's just meant to kind of oscillate a little bit, which is the goal. But with that, this is a a kit that comes with it. So you've got essentially a washing pad, which is like the mitts essentially, but on the end. You also have what I call an applicator pad, and then you have a buff off pad. This is actually like a rough pad. It's the base for all these other things. So this is Velcro. They stick to the back. There you go. So other things you may need: water, a hose, a bucket. Mine's over there. I use a ladder personally. That's 100% up to you. I don't have to because of this, but sometimes I like to get up there, especially if I'm going to wax the RV. I am going to use the Ryobi Vortex to wax the rig to try and cut down on my processing time. So let's start with the easy stuff. So before we dive into all that stuff on the table and all the outside extracurricular activities, one thing we always do, and we do this quite a bit, especially now since we store the RV for an extended period of time, is we'll lift our mattress up and look for mold constantly. And so as you can see, no mold. Make sure that's pushed back up. Do us a favor, and a big help to us is if you're looking for an RV mattress, consider rvmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding, because they're a great supporter of this channel. So who is rvmattress.com? They're a Brooklyn Bedding brand which makes specific RV mattresses, so you can get them in all shapes and sizes, all kinds of things. Now this is a signature hybrid, but this now has the cloud pillow top that has Glasotex cooling fibers attached to it, so it helps keep you cool all throughout your sleep. In addition, this is in a medium. We love them so much, we actually did a signature hybrid split king with the adjustable bases, with the cloud pillow tops, in our master bedroom in our new home base. But wait, there's more. We also went ahead and purchased, and they didn't even know we did this, a king-size bed, one to fit an old bed frame we had from our previous house, and is now our guest room bed. Now, while the mattresses are amazing, it's not even the 100% best part. When you purchase a mattress, it comes boxed up and rolled up in a compression piece of plastic that is easy to get into your RV. You can then roll it out without having to maneuver some of these mattresses around. When it comes, it's actually shipped to you, and if you live in the US, for free from their factory in Arizona. It comes with a 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. We absolutely love our rvmattress.com mattresses by Brooklyn Bedding, and we honestly think you will too. Now, because they're such a great supporter of this channel, they have actually offered us a little bit better of a discount that is typically out there. So if you are looking to buy a mattress, make sure you go to rvmattress.com/MillersInMotion. Or at checkout, make sure and put in the coupon code MillersInMotion. You're going to receive a 30% off discount, which is typically a little bit better than the traditional ones that's just kind of floating around all the time out there. Again, a huge thank you to rvmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding for being a longtime supporter and sponsor of the channel. Now, back to the video. All right, I'm not going to lie, there's been all kinds of technical issues with this video, and I lost the audio for this clip. I'm not really sure why, but what I'm talking about is removing the old Valterra valve and then reinstalling the new Valterra valve. The thing about this one that the other one didn't have for some reason is there's actually a little pin that connects to one of those forks, and it slips around one of your locking nubs, whatever you want to call those. And so that's what I'm doing here, is trying to get that pin to actually go into the hole, which was a little more of a struggle. Also, there was no good place because of that pin to put the line that holds on the cap to everything in case it were to fall off. So I actually connected it to that clip as well. But with that clip installed now, there's literally no way, as long as the pin's there, that can turn and accidentally dislodge. So there you have it. There is the Valterra valve. It's as easy as that to install. On to the next. Okay, so one thing that I will do almost every time without fail when I'm getting up on the ladder is, if I am home, I will use a second ladder. Now, with that being said too, I do have an extendable ladder that I take with me. I actually try not to get on the roof of RV if I can help it. So that's what I normally use to just kind of touch up on some stuff or wipe some stuff off. I don't actually get up there, but because I'm getting up there, I'm going to use this. I will say too, kudos to Alliance. This is a nice sturdy ladder, 300-pound weight limit. Thank God. But I kind of prep everything here. And what I do is I get about most of the way up the ladder, and then I just start moving stuff from this ladder. And I start moving stuff from this ladder to the roof, so I don't have to carry it all up there. Now the camera I'm going to have to carry, unfortunately. So see you up there. All right. I always forget how much work it is to get up on the roof. All right. Now that we're up here, first thing I noticed was there's a bunch of debris and other stuff up here. So I actually grabbed a broom, and I'm going to have to sweep off the roof. But before we do that, let's look at some of the seals around here. All right, so even though they're browning, the seals are actually in okay shape, but you are starting to see some spots like right here and here, where, and there's another one there, where some of the lap sealant is just kind of starting to come apart. So that's the sections we want to clean off and work on. Also, you can see the Reflectix we installed in the bubble versus putting something down inside. And this is a big one up here. You always want to check your front cap. You may notice that white patch right there. That is actually new die core. Our little track right there, it's just a little rubber screw cover thing, broke. I bought a new one really easily and just threw it on there and had to die core the top of it up because there's a screw hole there. So, but overall, we're in pretty good shape. Something that's not in good shape is that solar panel. Wow. I will say, I do love our view. I love having a little bit of land. I will say, there's the horses. Stella's the white one. Mo's the brown one that's not facing us. It's a horse's, well, you know, just over there by Little Run-In. All right, for the sake of it's incredibly hot and rough out here, so I'm going to just seal this little section right here. So the die core looks good all the way to here. They got a little close. It's not bad, and there's a screw head here that's kind of popping up. So one thing you want to do is clean the area. So you just want to take this old die core, as you can see, it gets a little goopy underneath, off, chunk it away, and then you just want to fill the area again. Now, remember, this is going to level. So as this cures, it will spread out a little bit. And that's it. Pretty much just repeat that all over your rig. Okay, so one thing I did not think about in this whole process was die core needs to cure. So I can't wash all of the rig. So I'm going to wash and wax a section of it to show you, and I'm going to have to do the rest another day, unfortunately. All right, so after inspecting it, I don't actually need to replace any of the sealant along like the outside of the baggage doors or any of our trim pieces because it's all in good shape. I also just did that not long ago, and I keep an eye on that pretty regularly. So I always carry that sealant with me, that GeoCell, just in case. Like I said just a little bit ago, because of the die core needing to cure, I'm going to wash this forward campsite section from the door forward to a certain point. And then wax it just so you can kind of see what we do. And then I'll have to finish the rest of it another day, probably off camera. All right, so I've heard a lot of different people say you should use RV safe, RV specific wash. You should use automotive only. There's a bunch of different theories of thinking. So I will tell you, if you're nervous about that, ask your manufacturer. I know that they're not all the same. We have Asdale on ours. A lot of companies don't use that. They just use a glue-on. You know, is there a coat? Is there not a coat? Just double check with your manufacturer if you're unsure. I've always used this. It's always seemed to work. I've never had any oxidizing or anything along those lines. So again, this is the ceramic hydro suds. So it's the washing portion of it. So we're going to wash this, dry it, and then we're going to go back with the wax in just a minute. I will say too, I have the camera way over here because I really don't want it to get wet in this process. But we are starting off with the Ryobi. Again, I'm using the car wash section. Now, this came with like a soft bristle brush. I will use that, but very sparingly and very softly. Like I don't push on it at all. I just kind of let it do its thing. And really, I've only ever used it on the front cap because of like bug splatter and those kind of things. I will say this is as simple as wet the surface. Wet your applicator pad. Yes, you can get this wet. Hit the button and wash away. And then rinse it off. This is another spot to say this. You should check with a campground if you're going to do this in a campground, like if you're full-time. But we're at our home base, so I can do it. All right, so this is where I'm going to start to switch stuff up on you. I will say you have to make sure the RV's dry, or the area you're going to work on at least is dry. There's some wet waxes out there. I don't think that they work as good. And I'll tell you, I'm wiping this down right now. That's not something I normally do. Because of its size, I typically will let the RV drip dry. Kind of an is what it is. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the washing pad, and I'm going to go to the applicator pad. It's as easy as just Velcroing that on. And you can imagine what comes next. So a couple of things I will tell you about waxing your rig. And this depends on the kind of wax. I'd avoid this like the plague just to begin with. So even though I like this one, I still don't want to get on the plastic. And I say that because A, plastic's not going to shine, or it shouldn't. If you do, you need a plastic cleaner, not this. 2, it leaves this white residue. At least it did one time we had it waxed. And you will spend the next year getting that off. I was still getting it off when we sold the Valor. So all you're going to do is apply this pretty heavily to here and then wipe it on. Now this wax looks a little different. It's a gel. So some people are freaked out by that at first. All right, now that we have the wax put on, all you're literally going to do, and I know you really can't see it, it's that gel wax that kind of blends in. You're just going to take a microfiber and rub it off. That's literally it. Sometimes it could take a little more elbow grease than you want to admit, but when it's done, it's done. All right, so it is actually a few days later and the entire rig has been waxed, and I personally think it looks quite a bit better, a lot shinier. And one bonus too is when it does get wet, especially here at the house, like we have pretty hard water, and so we get water spots a lot on things. And with the wax now, it'll run off a little bit better, so there won't be as many water spots. And the water spots that are there won't be as hard to get off. It'll be a much easier process to do that. So that's actually going to be it for what we're going to do in this video. There's always little maintenance things that we do on the run and as we go. But this was kind of our big, make sure this roof is sealed, get a little bit of a coat of wax on the rig, just give it once over and a cleaning. Now, with that, I have like no time at all, and then we are loading up, and we're actually headed up to Pennsylvania. You're going to want to stick around for the next few videos because we have some world premieres. It's our first time ever going to the Hershey RV show, America's largest RV show, whatever you want to call it. And, well, in typical me fashion, the travel is going to be a little insane. So, also, the RV Shenanigans podcast, it's back. If you have show ideas, questions, comments, want to be on the show, let us know. We want to know. That's coming out every Wednesday, so be on the lookout. I think the first episode or 2 have come out now. So, see you next week. Bye, Mom.